I noticed the space first, not the missing box itself, but the pale square it had left on the shelf, like a tan line on old wood. For years, that corner had been occupied by my father's watch case, dark walnut, faintly scratched, smelling of oil and dust and something metallic I never learned to name. Now it was just empty. I stood there longer than I meant to, still in my hand. "Where's the box?" I asked. My wife didn't look up from her phone. "Sold it." I waited for more. "Was trash," she added, finally glancing at me. "No one uses old watches anymore. My son needs cash for his course." Was sitting there doing nothing. She said it the way people explain throwing out expired milk. Practical. Finished. I nodded. Don't know why. Maybe because I was tired. Maybe because I'd learned over time that some things weren't worth turning into arguments. Or maybe because I didn't trust my voice. That box had been my father's last possession that still felt alive. Worked in a textile mill for 40 years. Night shifts, broken nails. Stiff back, he never owned much. Cared for his watches like they were children. Every Sunday, he'd open that case, polish each one slowly, win them, whispering the time under his breath as if it were a prayer. "Time is honest," he used to say. "It never lies, people do." After he died, couldn't bring myself to open the box for months. When I finally did, I cried over things that weren't supposed to matter. Cracked leather straps, faded faces, tiny scratches only he would have noticed, and now it was gone. I didn't fight her. I made tea, sat on the couch. I scrolled through nothing. At night, I lay awake listening to her breathe and wondering when our house had become a place where memory was negotiable. 2 days later, phone rang at work. Unknown number. "Hello, is this Mr. Salim?" A man asked, polite, careful. "Yes." "I recently bought some watches from your wife. There's something inside one of them. An engraving. I think you should see it. Could you come by?" His tone wasn't dramatic. It was professional, like someone reporting a lost wallet. He gave me an address. Small jewelry shop near the old market. I didn't tell my wife. I don't know why. Maybe I wanted one thing to be mine. The shop was narrow and quiet. Glass cases. Soft lights, no music. The man was in his late 40s, wearing reading glasses on a chain. He greeted me with a nod and led me behind the counter. He placed a watch on a velvet pad. It was my father's favorite. Silver face, slight dent at 3 o'clock. "Open the back," he said. Inside, carefully etched, were words so small I had to lean in. "For my son. So he remembers who he is, Abu." My chest tightened. I had never seen that. He had it custom engraved, the man explained. "'Bout 10 years ago. Paid extra. Didn't want anyone else to see it unless it mattered." He paused. Also checked the serials. "Some of these are vintage Swiss pieces. Not museum level, but valuable. Your wife sold the entire box for a fraction of its worth." He slid a document toward me, an evaluation. "Numbers, signatures, feel right keeping them," he continued. "If you want, I can reverse the purchase, legally. With receipts." Looked at the watch. My father had planned for this moment. For me. I signed. By evening, the box was back in my hands. At home, placed it gently on the shelf. In the same pale square, my wife noticed immediately. "What's this?" she asked. "I got it back," I said. Frowned. "How?" I told her, not angrily, not loudly, just facts, the engraving, the value, the evaluation. "The buyer." She sat down. "No," she murmured. "I know," I replied. Silence filled the room. After a while she said, "I was scared. About money. My son failing. I thought things can be replaced." I looked at her. "Some things can," I said. "Some things can't. You didn't ask." She nodded, eyes wet, But I didn't reach for her. Not yet. That night, I opened the box for the first time in years, wound each watch, listened to them breathe back into life. Time, steady and honest. In the weeks that followed, things changed quietly. She started asking before making decisions. Not dramatically. Just checking in. I started speaking sooner, instead of storing hurt like unpaid bills. We didn't become perfect. We still argue. We still misunderstand. Sometimes I still feel a distance, like a hairline crack in glass, hard to see, impossible to ignore once noticed. Box stays where it belongs, and sometimes, on Sundays, I polish the watches. Not because they need it. Because I do.